Hi, guys. This is Daniel Alexander Cannon, and this is the Supernatural Show. And on today's service, we're going to be talking about, of course, we're going to talk some more about the eclipse that's coming up because of the importance of it. But specifically, we're going to have put together a map, an interactive map that y'all guys can all interact with and take a look at yourself. It's on the homepage of the website. I'll mention that again here in a few minutes. But it's a map that shows all the biblically named cities that are in the path of totality from Texas all the way up and through Maine into New Brunswick, uh, Canada area. And yeah, y'all guys put where you're from. Like, I really enjoy seeing that when y'all guys put in the comments where you're at, like city and state, or at least state or country, that kind of thing. I would greatly appreciate it. I enjoy seeing y'all guys say that. It helps us see that we are reaching a lot of people around the world. So put the location where you're at. Again, we're going to be looking at a map, and we're going to look at some videos and several other things. Try to get a grasp and an understanding of really what is this eclipse and why it may be more significant than some people want to think. Hello, Super Dave, 44, near Columbia, South Carolina. Hello, my brother. And Sharon says, I can't think I'm fighting with the button with somebody. Sharon says that she is in Connecticut. That is awesome. Awesome. We've got the stupendous Chumley hailing from Northeast South Dakota. Welcome to the show, my brother. And you're going to find it pretty interesting how many cities that are biblically named are in the path of totality. We've got Lex from Rome, Georgia. Rome, there's another interesting city name. We've got Sherry from Delaware in the house. Welcome, Sister Sherry. We've got Allison from West Arkansas. I'm thinking that you mean there, Arkansas. Arkansas is a very interesting name because it has the word ark in it. And I've come to a big understanding of what the word ark is when it comes to a location. We got Rhonda out of Central Florida, on the east coast of Central Florida. We've got beautiful sunrises and sunsets. New Jersey girl by way of South Carolina. So you're in New Jersey now, it seems like. And then we've got Kathy, which is here, and she says, hi, wonderful people, Lower New York, near the Big Apple. You probably don't like my shows lately, or I say that jokingly, kind of, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. We've got Tara from Texas here as well. We've got Mike from Southern Kentucky. We've got Texas Mama Bear again here in the house once again, and she is from Texas as well. And we've got the Real McCoy back in the house from Maryland. Good to see you again, the Real McCoy. And we've got KK Wendy or Karen from Raleigh, North Carolina. Thank you for your kind words there too as well, Karen. I greatly appreciate it. We've got Jason from Virginia in the house. Guys, again, I'm asking you guys just to post where you're at, where you're watching the show from today. If you're overseas, Netherlands or Germany or China or Russia, Japan, Australia, I want to hear from you. Post it in the comments, please.
Yeah, we got someone from London, England, it looks like. Gary Henry.
Let's see here. I'm working my way down. We got Green Eyed Okie from Oklahoma. We've got Leslie from Florida. We've got Bentonville, Arkansas in the house as well. We've got Marcy, south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the house. We've got Gary from London, England, watching in London. Man, it must be in the middle of the night over there, I would think. So somebody likes to stay up late. And so I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to be here watching. We've got Antoinette, it looks like, from Moorhead, Kentucky in the house. And we've got Sharon with the Liar Identifier channel in the house out of PA, Pennsylvania. And let's see, we got Robert from Germany. Nice. Love to see y'all guys over there being able to see this information. And it says here we've got Vatican City. You got to be kidding me, right? I hope you're not, but I almost think you're joking with me. But okay, that's awesome. Let me know that you're not joking. Put another comment. Let me know that you're really in Vatican City. Let's see. We got Russ from Tulsa, Oklahoma in the house. We've got Chris, Kingston and south of England. So we've got south of England down in Kingston in the house. So we got people all over our world, WHRLED. And let's see here. We've got Ontario, Canada in the house, the COG, Ontario, Canada. Thank you for being here as well. We've got, let's see, what flag is that? That is, wow, I should know that flag. Do you know what flag that is on there, Dan?
No, I don't. I can't.
Crypto Geezer, can you enlighten us, ignorant folks, as to what flag that is? It's got one star with a blue triangle with three red, whatever you want to call it, lines and two white lines.
I don't even see that.
Yeah. Thank you for the link there, Super Dave. I appreciate you dropping a link to the show in the show. We've got Thomas Lena Collins out of Philadelphia in the house. And we've got Diana Avena, I believe that's who that is, in the house. Diana recently purchased a hoodie, I think is what she told me. Diane, I greatly appreciate your support of the work we do here. And I hope you like your hoodie. And at least you're wearing a brand that's not worshiping some other God other than the one and only true God. And guess what? We got somebody else that's got some supernatural show apparel on.
The hand of God.
Yeah, the hand of God reaching down out of heaven. And that's available on the website as well. We've got just passing through out of Warren, Ohio, here in the house. We've got Kelly out of St. Petersburg, Florida, in the house. And we've got, let's see here. We've got Earth is Flat in the house, Isaiah 40:22. It does seem to say that, doesn't it? We've got Paula out of Middle Tennessee. And let's see, did I put that one up? We've got Juanita out of Iowa in the house here today. Guys, we're going to get into this eclipse and all the biblically named towns, specifically looking at some of them that were biblically said that God would destroy them if they did not repent. Is that what this warning is? Are we being told that if we don't turn to God as a majority, or at least in a large number, that Father is going to take his hand off this country and allow them to destroy it? Because Father can stop them. Just as the story of Jonah trying to go into, he was told to go and warn the city of Nineveh. Is that how you pronounce it, Dan?
Nineveh.
Nineveh. And there's some Ninevehs in this eclipse totality path. And he warned him to go there, and he said, I'll destroy the city if you do not repent. Well, even down to the king took off his robe and repented to try to appease God, and it worked. And then Jonah got mad because it didn't destroy the city. And he said, does it do you well to be mad? In other words, do you think it's a good idea for me to be mad all the time, even if something good happens? And Jonah didn't quite get it there for a while. But anyways, we're going to look at those different places that are along this, because I've spent a lot of hours putting this map together. And I'm going to spend more because I'm going to go back and add all the ones, because right now the map is pretty much complete. And I'm going to show it to you here in just a second. Let's see here. We've got Texas in the house.
Yeah.
We've got Central Maine in the house. We've got Southern California Rob in the house.
Yay!
We've got Oracle of the West in the house. Nice. Glad to see you again here. And let's see here. Look at a few more. We've got Ron out of South Jersey in the house. And Diana says she likes your hoodie, Shannon.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see here. I think I about got everybody covered there for the most part. Jimmy Crackcorn says he's from Nineveh. I think maybe he was just telling us how to say it or spell it. But hello, Jimmy. All right. Sharon out of Northwest Texas, also in the house. Sage out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, not too far from where I'm at, in the house. We've got Crypto Geezer saying that he's out of Puerto Rico. He had said basically the Vatican City, but he's saying he's out of Puerto Rico, which is where they keep all the money and stuff, right? At least the Federal Reserve, anyways, I think. We've got Greece, Italy in the house. Welcome. Thank each of you for taking your time. And thank you, Super Dave. Yeah, my links are below. If you would like to support this channel, support the people that are here, links are below in the description. And we certainly appreciate that, because otherwise I couldn't pay for time of the day if it wasn't for y'all guys. So I greatly appreciate your support. Bill Baum says, Daniel, you are right. Judgment is passed on Great Babylon, America. I'm afraid that the threat is being announced is one of the things I'm afraid of. Let's say real quick hi to Shannon and Dan and see what the Supernatural's going on with them. But then we're going to get right into a couple of videos and looking at this map and having this discussion about all the city names and different symbolism. And we're going to get into the history of Little Egypt, or Cairo, Illinois. We're going to talk about the history and the fact that Egyptian artifacts, many of them have been found there. We're going to show you some video of a man that found a bunch of Egyptian artifacts there in the Cairo, Egypt area, Cairo, Illinois. Okay. And we're going to get into all that here. But let's see what's happening with Shannon here. What in the supernatural is going on with you today, Shannon?
Well, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before on a previous show, but I am working on a very important script for someone who we've had on the show a few times before in the past. My dear friend Ray Azor.
Hey, Ray's right there, buddy.
He, has had a history of working with against child trafficking back in the 80s and things along those lines. And we're writing a really amazing script about, based off of his life that we're hoping to get as a show. But because of that and the work that I do here with Daniel and Dan, we've all been really getting a lot of spiritual attack because we're really doing a lot of good work for God. And so again, if any of your prayers would be wonderful, just so that we can get all this stuff out to you through the show, with the script, all of the stuff that we're working on, that God just keeps us protected with his beautiful blessings and bubbles around us to keep this good work going and to get all this important information and stuff out to you guys. So I've just been going through a lot of spiritual warfare on a very high supernatural level because of my involvement in these things. So your prayers are always
Kind of how it works. You stick your head up and start throwing stuff at you.
Yeah,
Well, hello,
never gonna give up, though. Never gonna give up.
hello, Anita from Romania in the house. Isn't that awesome? We're reaching into Romania. Isn't that a glorious blessing? I'm so happy to have you here and the people out in Maui and different places in Hawaii. I'm so sorry to think that y'all guys have been going through out there. But thank you for being here today. And we still got people popping up from other places around, all around the country, Jacksonville, North Carolina. And so, Mr. Dan, my advisor, what is going on with you today, my brother?
Good afternoon, guys. Shalom. If I may take a moment, Daniel,
Sure.
when we pray.
That's well, what's going on? Let's do it.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you in the mighty name of Yeshua, HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. And we ask for your truth to be unveiled here, that we may know the lateness of the hour, that we may turn to you, the only truth, the only love, and the only protection against such things. Let the wisdom in this program come forth and people understand that you have said that judgment comes to the church first. But you also said in 2 Chronicles that if we will repent and cry out, you will heal our land. So the choice is evidently in our lap, but let us heed your warnings greatly. Let us see it. Let the scales fall from our eyes and from our ears, that we may behold all that you want us to behold during this program. Thank you, Father, that you have given us such sight, that you have such people as are here today that will witness your truth, your warnings, and the things that you would have us do. In the mighty name of Yeshua, Jesus the Christ, by way of the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Father. Amen and amen.
And that's what's going on with Mr. Dan. Thank you, my brother. Matter of fact, I was getting ready to say some of those similar words myself, and that I wanted to pray that Father would please allow for him to please guide me in the things that I'm showing today. I have no interest in showing things, Father, that are not of importance or truth, that are not true. I want to show the people things that you want them to see, what you want them to know. May you lead me in this service today, Father, to show the people what it is that you want them to know, and not what me and my fleshly body may be tempted to want to show, although it may be, my intentions may be good, I would rather you divert the whole program and take us to where you want us to go. I turn over this service to you, Father. Put you in charge of it, and I ask that you lead us and speak to me as we go along through this service and lead me in the right direction so that your mission will be accomplished and not mine. Thank you, Father. And so, guys, I'm going to get me a little bit of honey, trying to help my voice. Tastes good too. Ain't got no problem with that. All right, guys. So let me share my screen. I've got some things we're going to get right on into here. Got some things that I want y'all guys to see. Okay. We're going to come back to this here in just a moment, but this is on the homepage of the website. This is the TheSupernatural.Show website. It's best viewed on a computer or a PC or a tablet or something that has a big screen. It's not as great on a cell phone, although you can. We're going to come here and we're going to look at the 2024 Eclipse X solar flare map. And you'll understand why I'm calling it that. And some of you already have a clue as to why I'm calling it that. But this is an interactive map where you can come on here and you can go in and look at all these different locations that are biblically named cities. The ones that are in red, there are hints by the creator of the website that they have some knowledge that there may be something like solar flares going on during the eclipse. Okay, that is the red dots with the fire in it. If you see the black ones, the black icons that just have a sun in the center, that they did not show any evidence of a solar flare. And you're going to see what I'm talking about here. I'm going to show it here in just a minute. Some of you have seen one of my previous videos about this, but now I've put together this map under the guidance of my advisor, Dan, that it would be a really good idea to do this. And we're going to talk about some various things about it. But first, what I want to do is I want us to realize, let's look at the sun here for a second. We're going to look at a short video that was captured in the last year off of the top of a mountain in Sweden. Okay. I believe this is the one that was recently in the last 12 months. So let's look at this video.
Yeah. Oh, look at it.
Now, it should be obvious, and if it's not, it will be here in a moment, that you're looking at something that is in the image of an eye. Here's another video. You can see it even a little better. So let's take a look at that. Just let me make it full screen. Notice how the light from the corner of the eye goes out around the entire horizon. He'll show it on the other side. Here it goes coming back around from the other side, coming back to the other side of the eye. So that is a fantastic image, supernatural image that's rarely seen, but there it is. And what I want you to do is realize what you're looking at. Okay? And many of you have heard me talk about before, and I can't get into explaining it all right now, but many of you have heard me talking about before points of creation and the attributes of points of creations. They're where God shows himself, kind of like the Ark of the Covenant. Okay. And in this case, we're looking at the sun, and the sun, you can see that you've got a pupil to the eye. Let's put it back here. You've got the pupil, which is the sun itself. And the way God works is that all things are repeated on different scales, bigger and smaller. And when you see it, when you look up and see that this is an eye above and that the sun is the pupil, that tells me that we are the pupil, and we live in the pupil of the eye that is being reflected. We exist in the center of the world, the toroidal field that is this creation that we're looking at here. You can even see it has an eyelid. And that eyelid, when the sun first rises, it's closed. And as it comes above the horizon, the eyelid starts opening, just like ours do in the morning time. Father is so magnificent and glorious in the way that he shows us the truth. He shows us this. And there are many, many, many things to be discerned out of while we're looking at what this means. But you've got a pupil, you've got the iris, you've got the eyelids, you've got the corners of the eye. Right here, the corner, this is what you'll see it sometimes on the left or the right of the sun. Either the part right, normally it's this part right here. They call it a sundog. Okay. It's a little bit of a hint for you. Instead of saying God, they said dog, because they invert everything. That's how Satan works. He tells you the opposite of something. Okay. And the fact that this light beam that comes out of here and goes all the way around the backside and comes all the way around tells you that it is reflecting off of the firmament. And it also tells me that the sun itself is nothing like the distance that they claim it is. But that's a whole nother subject, and we can get into a whole lot of discussions there. The point is I want you to realize when we're talking about the eclipse, realize what you're looking at, okay? You're looking at the pupil of the eye that God created to show us a point of creation, which we have on our face. The woman has all over her body. It's built even into our ears, our eyes, our mouth. Is our mouth not in the shape of a Vesica Pisces? Are our eyes not in the shape of a Vesica Pisces? Are our ears not in the shape of a Vesica Pisces? They are, if you know how to look at it. Typically, everything, you have to look at it from one angle or another, or this way or that way, and you'll see this repeating pattern. And of course, the female body with the breasts are like two toroidal fields, 2 points of creation. Points of creation have things that may come in or may come out. Something may pass through going in or pass through going out, just like our mouth. We pass food through going into our body, and what comes out is our words, our speech, our manifestations. Our eyes, what comes in is light. And I think maybe at some point, and maybe once again, there will even be something coming out. And I'm not going to elaborate yet on what I mean by that, but same thing for the ears, sound going in, okay? And for a female body, when it comes to the reproductive area, you're talking about sperm going in, and you're talking about baby coming out, right? So I want you to realize what we're looking at. The majesty of what the sun is and what it means for the moon to come in front of it, or whatever it is coming in front of it that blocks out the light, that we can only see a halo, okay? The corona Okay. And so, yeah. So now, let's go ahead and look at, I think, probably be best. Let's look at the map. Let's see, I think I can make this full screen right here. Let's see, maybe it's best to do it over here. All right, so we got the map here. And as you can see, there's all these cities that are along this line here. And I'm sure there are ones that go through Mexico as well, but all the cities down there are in Spanish, and it would take a lot of time to translate all the words to see if they actually equaled up to biblical city names. I haven't done that yet, and I'm focused on the United States for the most part. But that map is also available, and I have it linked. Right below this map, I have the Mexican path map and the American path map, and an interactive path map as well that is available, which I'm going to pull up next to this one, actually, right here. Where'd it go? Maybe that isn't it. I have to double check that link. So let's go in and let's take a look. Let's just start. I know everybody wants to look at Little Egypt up here in Cairo and all that, and we're going to get there. Let's just start down here a little bit, and let's look at some of the names of these places. This is, again, all biblical names. This is Joppa, Texas. And Shannon and Dan, y'all guys can jump in at any time. This is Joppa, Texas, and you can see there's a link right here. If you click that link, what it will do is it will bring up the page on the website called eclipse2024.org that shows you the eclipse. Now, you'll notice that I have this one as red and a flame. So that means that there is a solar flare that is depicted in the imagery of the eclipse. You can see it right up here, as a matter of fact. Right there. There's actually two in this one. For Joppa, Texas, there's one that shows this loop and that, but we're going to see that here in just a second. So let's click on here. Let's zoom in. We've got a few different controls here. A zoom, the thing that zooms in the sun. And then you've got a timeline down here that you can move towards the eclipse towards totality, and it gives you all the times and everything down to the second, basically. And then it goes into totality. And what's weird is why it's not showing. That is strange. It's not showing the solar flares anymore. Unless I made a mistake, that's possible. But we'll know in a minute. We're going to check some more. But they're not showing the solar flares here anymore for Joppa, Texas. And I mean, I have a picture of it showing that it was for Joppa, Texas. I took a photo of it. It's right there. I just showed it to you. Show it to you again. That's what it showed before. You see those flares? See, it says, what does that say? Joppa, Texas. You see that? This is an image of what was on here the other day. Now what's on here? Nothing. They took it off, Dan.
I see that.
They took it off, Shannon. Okay. That is
Told you they might scrub some of this.
That is ominous. They had to come back in and edit this page and remove it. And there's no chance of a mistake here because I took a screenshot of it. Joppa, Texas. Oh boy. That kind of takes this to a new level, don't it?
It does.
I do find it interesting too that they've been putting out a lot of alerts and warnings for people to get stocked up and be prepared for things like there's going to be some kind of, I mean, some of them are saying it's because of the tourism, but some of them are making it a little more ominous, like there's some kind of a disaster of some sort that might hit. And there's also a very strange planetary alignment that's happening all at the same time.
And we got the Devil's Comet that's in the upper left quadrant. Shannon, what are they? We know we're looking at this eclipse because it makes an X across the United States. And Twitter, they turned themselves into X. And everything's being X'd, right?
Right.
What is it that they call the first kind of solar flare that you can have, supposedly?
An X flare.
Well, they call it an X flare, do they?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And what's interesting too about a lot of the flares that have been coming up lately, they added the whole cannibal aspect because they're eating up other solar flares that it's putting out. So I mean, I had never really heard that term until
eating weather. Yeah. Okay.
Cannibal CMEs. What in the French toast are you talking about? But yeah.
So let's look at another one here. So this is, how did you pronounce that, Dan? Hebron?
Hebron.
Huh?
Hebron. Known as the city of refuge.
All right. So in Hebron, Texas, it shows that there's a solar flare in the upper left quadrant at about the 11 o'clock position, something like that. So let's open up the link that I've got here and go back to it and see what's there now. See if it's the same or if it changed or what. And I could show y'all guys, get a chance to show y'all guys what I'm talking about here, if it's still there. So it should be on the upper left. Oh God, and they took it and they moved it to the right now. Look at there. It's not on the upper left anymore, Dan. They're showing it. They moved it to the right. Why would somebody spend a bunch of time moving graphics around like this?
As a signal?
It's a waste of time and less purpose. You know how many pages they had to create in order to make this thing work? Let me show you. Let's see. I had said in our conversation, our private conversation, I said 41,000. I was incorrect. It's 141,742 different cities that are in the totality path. 141,742 different pages. And they would have to come in and edit these pages. I'm a webmaster. I know what it takes. And that would take a major effort. The first two we've checked, one, they removed it. They removed the solar flare from the imagery. The second one, they moved it and changed it to a different looking one. Okay. Let's go look at another one. Let's look at one that was not showing a solar flare. Okay, this one here, Athens, Texas, was not showing a solar flare. Let's see what it's showing now.
Question. There is a comment up here. I'm just gonna kind of put it up.
Pop it up.
But it says, does anyone understand why the sun is rising in the west and setting in the east on that day?
What?
Right? I'm like, this is also new
Jahudi, you're going to have to explain what you're saying there.
Yeah.
I think looking at the direction of the eclipse instead of the actual traversing of the sun.
Well, we'll definitely need to do some research on that.
What he's saying is why is the eclipse movement from the west to the east?
The east, right?
Okay. And I can kind of understand the functionality potentially of that. Or I know I could give you the NASA version, which would be deceivery. Let's see. It says, this one's Patty says, I know this sounds crazy, but the sun and moon are not like they used to be. Look fake. Yeah, they definitely look different. Definitely the sun for sure. Like they show it in this image here. When I grew up, the sun was yellow. Now the sun's white. Anybody else remember the sun being yellow?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Not yellow no more, is it?
I do have some weird pictures of the sun a while back ago on the website where it was, literally bright neon.
There, Daniel. Daniel, there was one there.
I know. I see that. So this one, see, I have it marked as having the black means no solar flare shown or depicted. Well, now there is. It's right here in the lower left. Let me get my magnifier up here so I can show it a little better. Let's see, where's it at? Oh yeah, here it is. So there it is right there. That's what the solar flare that is now on this imagery that wasn't here the other day. So this one went from having no solar flare depicted in Athens, Texas, to now having it with one on it. And I know there's zero chance that I made this many mistakes. If it was one or two out of all of them, or 3 or 4, maybe. All right. Well,
the thing is, Daniel, is that all this is predictive programming. When you get to predicting, when you start talking about the future, you're prophesying. But the other point I wanted to make is that being predictive, and we talked about this the other day, that the French underground, before the Normandy invasion, used to listen to the radio at a set hour. And all they would do is, it was done by the BBC, and they just repeat one sentence twice, then they do another sentence. They were listening for a specific sentence to let them know that D-Day was coming. When we're looking at predictive programming where it's there 1 minute and not the next, that means, as far as it goes, that the message had been received. And they scrub it so everybody else doesn't catch on. This is a situation where all of a sudden you have one that started out on the left, 10 o'clock, and drops all the way to almost the 3 o'clock position on the opposite side. What would be the purpose other than a signal? Because none of this has happened yet. This is all predictive or prophesying, trying to get people to understand, well, we need to look for something else.
Yeah, that's what it seems, Dan. I agree. Let's look at Edom, Texas. Or excuse me, this is Edom, Texas. Looks like I might have got the link wrong in this one. I was going through this stuff so fast. This is actually Crossroads, Illinois. And we'll go ahead and take a look at it and see what it shows. Crossroads, Illinois is right there close to Cairo, Illinois, or what the area called Little Egypt. And it is showing one down at the bottom right, a big one down there. That I've never seen that version of the solar flare on this site before. That's a new image. I can show it a little bit better real quick, but we're going to keep moving because we're obviously running across a lot of interesting anomalies, you might call it. So that's what it's showing there on the crossroads. Was it showing that before on the crossroads? Let's find out. I can take a look here.
Now, too, someone had mentioned that, the AI, I'm sure, has a lot to do with the construction of this imagery, not necessarily human hands. And we know that AI is Nephilim, truly, demonic spirits. So, I mean, the signaling back and forth definitely makes sense in that regard. But I feel like the fact that they're switching it up is it's really bizarre. It just I'd like to look into that more. Why?
Yeah, there's likely a coding system going on here, kind of like what Dan was talking about. Crossroads, Illinois. These are all a lot of different cities that did depict a solar flare, and it shows all the images I took of all of them, as you can see here. And Crossroads, which I just pulled up, which is right near Cairo, Illinois, does not have one here. So that means it did not show one. But, of course, at this time, it does show one. So they've changed that one too. So they're changing all of them. Golly. That's a lot of work for nothing, just for a little red mark. I mean,
depending on what your code is to represent.
Yeah, it's not even a flashy red mark. I mean, there's nothing that spectacular about it. They could at least make it blow up. But what they're doing is they're putting it in plain sight.
Only when you blow it way up to take a look at it. Otherwise, you just see this little pink dot. You wouldn't notice it otherwise.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice it really. Yeah, exactly.
And there may be different groups at different times needing different signals. It all depends on the intent.
Well, it's bizarre to me that they would even have a prediction of exactly where a flare is going to come out at that time. Like, exactly. How did they know? I mean, I'm just curious.
I suspect that it's not as much about the flare as it is some kind of hidden code, because they do that a lot. Is build in a hidden code. Now, they may know that historically, at this point in the cycle, because we are at the end of a cycle again, that when this eclipse takes place, because everything repeats, that it was recorded in history that we don't have access to, that some huge explosions come off of the sun. Now, we are at what they call solar maximum. And we just had an X 6.4, which is the largest X class I've ever heard of. But they say there was one time a little bit larger. But they say they can go up to X 20-something, 30-something, to the point of technically, supposedly could get bad enough, big enough that it would be a big problem. Not just knocking out cellular communication like it did the other day when they had one of those X flares. All of the communications company, I went on downdetector.com and looked at all of the communications company, and they all went down the exact same moment. And people were on there complaining, my cell phone ain't been working, all this kind of stuff.
I wonder too, because there's been a lot of talk about this Devil's Comet /asteroid, whatever it is, possibly exploding. And I'm wondering if that might have some effect on.
Wouldn't that would be an interesting development if a solar flare during the eclipse reached out and just smacked the comet and created a big light show, big fireball in the sky.
Planetary alignment. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, there's so much supernatural going on with this eclipse, guys. Holy cannoli.
Guys, too, if you're listening, if you're going to be in the path of this eclipse, if you're going to be in totality, I need you on our team. And what I mean by that, we'll come back to the map here in a second. I want you to go to the website, TheSupernatural.Show. Okay, it's not .com, it's TheSupernatural.Show. And on the top of the page in the menu, you'll see 2024 Great Eclipse. Or to change that to Eclipse X. But we'll just leave it as 2024 Great Eclipse. I want you to click on that, and then it's going to bring you to a page that will allow you to register to be a cameraman for us. What we're going to try to do is, as this eclipse comes up out of Mexico, across Texas, and across the United States, we're going to try to have y'all guys' live feeds on the show. So we'll be here on the side talking, and your live feed would be here in the middle, showing the eclipse while it was happening. And if one of these events go down where there's a super flare, you'll have it recorded, and we'll have it there, and we'll be live, and everyone will be able to see what's going on. Because live coming from us and you is a lot better than believing anything coming from the television. They could tell us that anything, and there's no way to prove it true or false, basically. But you come here to this page, come down, and there's a register now button. All you got to do is click register now, get signed up for it, and then I'm going to be starting to contact y'all guys here in the next week. And I'm going to start providing you instruction and details and communicating with you. So if you're going to be in this path of totality, even if you're in Mexico or Canada, I need you to please come here, sign up, and be part of the camera crew, okay? So with that said, let's go back down over to the map here. And let's zoom on into Little Egypt, because we got quite a bit of conversation to have there. Man, this sun is shining my backside. I feel like I'm on fire. Woo. All right, got a question. The pictures of skies have been crazy. I'm supposed to see it great in upstate New York. I will go to the link. Can you put it in the chat? And is a cell phone acceptable? Absolutely. A cell phone is all you need. That's what I'm saying. All I'll have to do is send you a link via a text. Okay. So I'll send you a link via text. You click on that link, and whatever you're showing on your phone, you got it pointing at the sky, it's going to be on the show. It's that simple. You don't have to show your face. You don't even have to talk. All you got to do is point your camera at the sky. During the totality, we want to get you live on here, and let's say we might have 20 of you, okay? And I'll be working through picking the different ones depending on where you're at and how close totality is for you. And I'll work you all in, just do the best job we can. That's all we can do. This ain't no major studio. This is running off of a shoestring, okay? But we are live on 8 platforms, and as y'all guys seen earlier, we have people all around the world watching this show right now from countries all around the world. So let's work together. What do you say we do something actually good and work together to show everybody what's going on during this eclipse? Because I think we're going to see something interesting. I've been saying that for a while now. We're going to see something real interesting in the heavens. All right, so we're zoomed in on Cairo. Okay. This is Cairo right here where this little blue dot's at. It's where the Mississippi and the Ohio rivers come together. Okay. And you can see, say what? You can see that a lot of things here are named. As you start to look, you'll notice a lot of things here are named of things related to Egypt. Let's take a look at, let's see, what is this? Okay, so this is the Cairo, Illinois Eclipse link. So let's look at it and see what they're showing with it now, because this is right in the crossing area of the two eclipses.
You know, I was going to mention, if any of you guys who are filming have any kind of older technological devices like cameras or camcorders, that would be even better, because some of these phones, you know, I almost feel like they're designed to kind of filter out some of these supernatural anomalies, unlike some of the older technology. So that being said, if you guys have any of those old camcorders or the cameras, even from like 5 years ago, that would be
Yeah, it has to be able to stream through the internet. Some of you out there are going to have knowledge about your cameras and how you can stream it and all this. All that'll work. It's just a matter of you have to be able to stream a video stream to me via a link that I send you, basically bringing you in as a guest into the studio. But again, you're not showing your face, and you don't even have to talk if you don't want to, and you're just showing the heavens and showing what's going on. But yeah, you can use. There's a lot of different options on equipment. The most simple that everybody has pretty much is, cell phone. It doesn't matter if it's an iPhone or an Android or whatever, as long as it's what they call a smartphone, then it'll work. Now here we have, this is Cairo, Illinois, and it did show a flare before, and as you can see here on the left, it showed the flare on the left-hand side about in the 9 o'clock position. Now it shows the flare on the right-hand side at about the 5:30 position. So they moved it. So they changed even the one in Cairo, Illinois. Isn't that fancy? Now, if we zoom out here a little bit, something to take note of. This area here is called America. Okay, that's a little spot close to Cairo there. This area here is called New York, Kentucky. This area right here is called Joppa, Illinois. This area right here is called, how do you pronounce that, Dan? Thebes. Okay, that is a Egypt city name that's biblical.
On the river, yes.
On the river. And so here we have Cairo and we have Thebes right here together. And we're going to see some more of those. Here's Karnak. Karnak is another one out of Egypt. So we have another city named for Egypt right here within this relatively small area. Then we've got another one up here. This is called Dongola. That's another Egyptian city name right there. And you probably can see that you've got cities right here called mounds and Mound City. Let me pop up my magnifier here and show that. See, it says mounds and Mound City. The reason why those are there is because there are pyramids in this area. Mm-hmm. Some of them are noticeably a pyramid, and some of them are large hills that are man-made that look like pyramids, but I can't tell you what's under them exactly. If we click over here on these ones that is denoted with an X, that is Crossroads, Illinois, that we were talking about earlier. So the crossroads is in the X of the cross of this eclipse, along with all these Egyptian city names. There's Bethlehem Church that's in Crossroads, Illinois. And let's back out a little bit here. Let's see what we got up here. This is Lake of Egypt Country Club. And there's, look at that one. That looks familiar. Yes. Let me get my magnifier again. Where's that name come from, Dan?
The New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Weird.
was over Israel during the Roman occupation of Israel.
Isn't that interesting? Now, what's even more interesting, because you could say, well, this is all just coincidence.
Conjecture.
Yes. But however, let's take a watch at a little bit of this.
Who's a wealth of knowledge on a lot of different subjects. And, man, I'm excited
All right, what you're looking at here
to talk to.
is a man that lives right there close to Cairo who has found a bunch of Egyptian artifacts all over the place there and has been saving a collection, putting it together. And here he is on YouTube with videos talking about it. You can see, here's one image of one of the things he found, and you can see it has the head of a dog, like a sphinx or something, and it has the ankh in the hand down here, just like all the Egyptian gods would have the ankh in their hand. And then here's the staff with the serpent head, and he found that near Cairo, Illinois.
And with that said, Harry, surprised me. What are we going to talk about tonight?
We can take it any direction you want. The new stuff I'm working on, I watched one of my videos that...
Okay, so y'all guys can go and watch this video if you want. What I wanted to do was just come through and show you some of the imagery of some of the pieces he's found. Different stone and other relics. And there are other... Shannon, go ahead.
Can we blow it up?
Blow it out.
Guys, I just wanted to see the full screen.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
We can do that.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's just jump forward 5 seconds and we'll see some different ones here. So this is like a rock that's 4 inches wide. It's a fairly flat rock that he found there with this on it. You can say, well, maybe that's Indian. Okay. Let's see what else he found. There's the beetle, the scarab beetle on the forehead, just like an Ipeck goat, and just like the Egyptians, the legend of the scarab beetle, if you're familiar with what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it doesn't really look Egyptian that much, but the scarab beetle is definitely Egyptian. It's on the forehead. Here's another rock or device that he found that has Egyptian-esque type inscriptions on it, especially the stuff on the right. Here's another one. There's the falcon on the chest, a feather in the hat. Now, of course, this stuff would be older, likely, than Egypt. The reign that we think about, this stuff would probably be older than it. There's an interesting looking piece that he found. Imagine how hard he has to look to find this stuff. He's a rock hound, basically, goes out hunting specifically for these kind of things. So there's some kind of a creature, monkey or something inscribed onto a rock. It's almost 3 inches tall. There's another, that's definitely Egyptian there. Got the ankh on the left and the staff on the right, the serpent staff. The sun above is the falcon's head or the phoenix, depending on how you want to look at it. This was all found in Illinois, up around the area of Cairo. You see, America is not, it is what it is now, but it has a past that they never told us about. And they want this kind of information hidden from us. My theory is that the American Indians are Egyptian in bloodline. And I don't say that to insult anybody that is of American Indian bloodline, because I am. I'm 1/8 American Indian, or maybe 1/8 Egyptian, whatever you want to call it. There's another one. Another one with a bunch of, looks like some kind of a pillar or something with a sun at the top and a bunch of inscriptions on it. It's about 6 inches tall. And that one looks, well, again, when we say Indian, I believe we're saying Egyptian. But when these cycles that we go through reset and a lot of things are wiped out, a lot of things are lost and they have to start recreating their society again. And so you have a mix of artifacts. And there's that one again, but a bigger picture of it. I heard a story, read a story. They claim the guy made it up, but he said he found a cave that had an enormous amount of artifacts in it. This was a different guy than this guy. Even had solid gold, a solid gold sarcophagus that was found in a cave there in Egypt, in Illinois. And there were a bunch of other sarcophaguses that were not solid gold. They were in the same cave. But one of them was solid gold. And this was a couple hundred years ago when he found it. But you can't find any, it's been scrubbed when it comes to any kind of, which, I mean, when was the camera invented? You know, the modern camera anyways. Some more dog-headed creature with an ox in his hand again. Sun above his head with symbolism on the side. It looks Egyptian-esque, but again, we're talking about a period that's almost unrecognizable. Did a bunch of research one time about the Grand Canyon, and there were all these legends about the Egyptians being there as well because of all the artifacts that have been found, and there were very worn down pyramids inside of the Grand Canyon itself. So, I mean, we could go through all this. This is a 1-hour video, and there's a lot of different artifacts in here. Got a commercial we got to listen to.
I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
I did notice one of the commenters mentioned that Jacob Rothschild died today.
Oh, really?
Really?
Well, that's a good day. I mean, I'll pray for him, and I'll hope that it worked out for him, but I'd hate to be a Rothschild.
Right.
And directly bloodline of Cain. You know.
He was definitely one of the He always gave me the creeps.
You reckon?
So
Let's see here. Trying to find just kind of glancing through, seeing if there's any, because I haven't watched this whole video even yet. So here's some examples of gold that was found. A giant solid piece of gold, it looks like, with Egyptian. Yep. How'd you like to find that piece of gold? With Egyptian hieroglyphs, whatever you say it on it.
hieroglyphics.
Yeah. That looks like the belt of Orion right there. Look, there's pyramids. It looks like pyramids. Of course, the eye, the sun. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Here's another one he says he found.
Not again.
Now you were mentioning that you feel like a lot of these things are older or that predate the Egyptian time period reign out in the Middle East.
We only know what they've told us, so we don't really know what the timeline really is.
Do you think maybe pre-flood?
Huh?
Do you think maybe pre-flood? Or
yeah, probably, or
Daniel lost feed 4 times.
Say what? Say what, Dan?
I've lost feed 4 times.
huh?
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
That don't make no sense. Well, maybe it does.
Maybe it does.
Yeah. So we're not going
Just lost it again.
So what's it doing? Just you're not able to see us, or what?
Oh, he paused.
So what's it doing, Dan? Describe it. Oh boy,
Yep, he's
Dan's.
Just
Paul.
lost it again.
Yeah, we noticed that you were paused. I guess you'd say there.
mm-hmm.
There's one that definitely looks Egyptian. So I'll let me get the link to this video, and I'll make sure to post that on the website right there along with those other links. I'll make sure it's there by the end of the show. I'll get it on there so y'all guys can take a look at these artifacts. But I mean, what are we looking at here? What's the big picture of what we're looking at here? Obviously, we're looking at for me, I feel like we're looking at the turning point in a time. And there's the fact that all these cities that have biblical names. Now, if you zoom in here, what's interesting is that almost all of these are right towards the very center of the path of totality. You only have a few that are laying out on the edge of the path of totality, like here and here. You notice how those are laying out on the edge? And that one's out on the edge over there a little bit. Why are they so concentrated in the center of the path of totality? That's shouldn't function that way, if y'all guys know what I'm saying. It should be random. And there shouldn't be this many cities. And there shouldn't be an Egypt in the middle of Illinois with proof of it. I mean, we're looking at something really big here. Now, how it relates to the eclipse, God only knows, but I mean, we've done enough videos and talked about all the symbolism that they've been showing us through things like I Pick Goat and all these things, because it's written all over it. Even in I Pick Goat, oh yeah, I just remember this. In a scene towards the end of I Pick Goat, where the Antichrist figure is looking at the sun, but the scene hasn't turned to look at the sun yet. It's looking at the Antichrist figure, and he's been birthed, and he's coming out across the water. There's a few people here thinking, what in the world is he talking about? You got to look up iPad Goat 2 on YouTube, or go back and look at some of my many videos I've done on the subject matter, decoding it. But it shows a sarcophagus on the side of the ice wall. I could probably pull it up real quick. Why not? Because they've got it back up now. So I can just pull it up and show it. Unless they've taken it down again. Okay, I think this is one of the copies of it here. So I'll go down towards the ending scene here. Turn the sound off. Of course, you got all kinds of things that are Egyptian looking going on his forehead and all kinds of things, but look right over here on the wall. Right here. I'll play it forward a little bit. You see the sarcophaguses frozen in the ice? You see, this is graphics. Every pixel was put there intentionally. So this is intentional right here. They could have put anything they wanted to there, or nothing, just a gray looking wall. But they didn't. They put something that looks like a sarcophagus. Looks like a couple of sarcophaguses. Looks like one that would have a large head. And of course, there's all kind of things that are related to Islam and Egypt and the Jews and the Gentiles and everything else here in this depiction. This scene right here, I'll show it real quick. This scene. This is a scene of, let me slow it down to 25%. This scene is biblical. It is the biblical dragon blowing, where it talks about the dragon being after the woman. I've seen a sign in heaven, and a woman clothed in the sun with the moon under her feet. It goes on and explains the dragon spewed after the woman. This is Draco. His name is Draco, according to Heliofont, and he spews. He'll spew here in a second. He's full of rage right now. He draws back and he spews. And what does he spew? Here it comes through. Here it comes through. This is called the Small Magellan Cluster. It's a cluster of stars. And he spews fire into the mouth. That says the earth helped the woman and opened its mouth. And it spews into the mouth, which you'll see here in just a second. This is the mouth going down the throat on the water. And of course, this is also symbolic for a number of things. It's multi-layered. This is the apple, the center of the apple, the center of the seed, the point of creation. He spewed into the point of creation, altering, transforming the woman. Absolutely. Yep. The lightning flying. We've all looked at that a bunch of times. I've been studying that thing for a lot of years. Well, guys, what do you think? Where should we take the conversation here? Let's look at the comments and see what do y'all guys think out there. What do you want me to know? What do you want me to? What do you want to show everyone else? What do you want me to tell the world? They're listening. The house is full. We've probably got 1,000 people live watching from all over the world. Let's see here. Yeah, of course they're going to have a fake savior coming. Yeah, Captain Howdy said being at 37,000 feet during the eclipse would be a trip. You're right about that. Maybe you've made a comment earlier that I've missed, but if you have, please say it again. What you want me to see right now? Because I'm looking at the comments. Y'all guys are part of this show. This is your show. You can have this platform. I have days of the week set up where y'all guys can come in on Tuesdays or Thursdays and even do your own show on my platform that I already did all the work to build. But y'all guys paid for it, and you paid for my time to do it. So it's yours. Information about that's on the website, TheSupernatural.Show. Let's see what we got coming in here comment-wise. The Troy Weekly article, 2 new Little Egypt pastors. Must have missed some of what you were writing way far out west. Art. There were 2. Yeah. There were 2 eclipses that happened back in the early I think it was 1900s. Yeah, 1900s and 1929 area right there. 2 eclipses that crossed the United States. And right after that, they had the Great Depression, and an earthquake struck the New Madrid fault. A large earthquake struck. Not large as in 7s or 8s, but it was large for the East Coast. And those are things that I suspect that we could be seeing. We could be sent into darkness symbolically through electronics going out, electricity going out, things like this. Even if they just claim that there was a solar flare. And
not to mention solar flares, but they're also talking about the Russians having, nuclear weapons in space. So they're definitely hinting to something along those lines and have for a long time.
Yep. Let's see here. I'm looking to see if anybody's making a comment where they want to get themselves heard here. Anubis. Mauricio says Anubis. Haya Valley. I'm not sure what they're saying exactly. Don't have enough information. Says, how did IPEC go end? He just stays on the boat. It ends with Babylon being destroyed, is how it ends. This is the ending scene here. There is it ends with the sun pulsating and comets start to come down, or some kind of projectile in the air, you can see that you have Scorpio, the scorpion here symbolized in the background. And you have which one is called the archer? Is it Sagittarius or Capricorn? Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Yeah, that's symbolized right here. Sagittarius. You got Scorpio. That's the way they're laid out in the heavens. And then you have the eagle up here, which is another constellation. What's the name of it? It's slipping my mind. And this is all the sky lined out on April 8th. This is the morning of April 8th. This is what the sky will look like. You'll have the sun coming up with Scorpio on the left, Sagittarius on the right, and the eagle that's right above Sagittarius, or the phoenix, or the bird, or whatever is right there. And what it shows is there's comets or some kind of projectiles in the air that start coming in, and they strike the pyramid, which represents Babylon, and it's destroyed, is how this ends. What does this eclipse and the X really mean? Well, the X is the most simplest form of the image of the beast. It means that the beast is getting ready to officially ride. The Antichrist will be coming forward very soon. The X, think about pornography, it's triple X. Most things that are associated with an X is associated with sin, rebellion, death, and ultimately judgment, which is why there's an X being put across this country right now. And they're putting it in your face by even turning Twitter and other things into X. You got SpaceX. Ultimately, that's going to lead to destruction because those are weapons. They're not just put up there, just like the cell towers. They're weapons as well as a toy to communicate with. Their weapons they allow us to use, always have 2 or 3 benefits that we get to use in order to agree to allow them to use them as weapons to destroy us. It's kind of how it works.
Remember, they used X when you talk about Constantine. His symbol means CHR. So in essence, what they've done is used X to remove Christ from any word.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the X is the opposite and rebellious version of the cross itself.
Exactly.
Is basically the inverted opposite of the cross.
And I'm sorry, guys, I lost feed 28 times, so I kind of catching up.
Okay. Think about the guy. What was the guy's name that had the X right on his forehead there?
Charles Manson.
Well, it was technically a swastika, but
swastika.
Yeah.
Yeah, but very much related, right?
Right.
And there's a YouTuber right now that's out there. He's really popular. He's got all of the Trump fans on his wagon and selling tons of albums, and he's acting like he and his girlfriend, and there's a few people working with him, and they're producing all this great music, saying things that Trump fans want to hear. People that believe that their God is in the flesh here that's going to save them, like Trump, who is going to play the role of Cyrus and ultimately destroy Babylon. We could get into that scripturally even. I'm ready for that, actually. The X is a key warning. It has to do with the crossing, the reset of time, the shortening of time. It's a high likelihood that we're going to start noticing that the days don't seem as long as they used to. The shortening of time, or there would be no flesh left.
In that X, can I put in 3 facts I didn't get to a while ago?
Yeah, go for it.
And as far as Cairo, Egypt, and Cairo, Illinois, first, the name comes from Al-Kashira, meaning Cairo, after the conqueror planet Mars, meaning the vanquisher or the victorious. and they've adopted that name. It's also in Egypt known as the City of the Dead. And the last one I wanted to bring out, but started was during the 1st century, the Romans built a fort in Cairo, Egypt, called Babylon. In Cairo, Illinois, Ulysses S. Grant built one called Defiance. So you start to see parallels crop up. There's also pyramids with Giza, and you got pyramids in Illinois.
Even the university took the pyramid as their symbol. They started out with the University of Illinois started out with a sphinx as being the symbol of their college. And then they switched it to the pyramid ultimately. See, this is the birth scene. Somebody talking about earthquakes in the comments. This is the birth scene in I Pit Goat. And it shows let me back it up a second. You see that it is currently nighttime, and it's fixing to go daytime. The sun has risen. The new day has come. The second sun has arrived. And watch the gargoyle's head. That's an earthquake that is predicted to take place, a great earthquake, upon what? The rising of the sun. Or it could be the crossing of the sun into the new moon day. Anything just about is up to potentially happen around April 8th and definitely after. But it's go time. I'm pretty positive of that. Would you think that I'm completely off base, Dan?
No, I think you're dead on.
Yeah, there are too many signs in the heavens going on to be ignored. That's all I have to say.
That's part of the warning, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see the signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars that let you know the lateness of the hour.
Exactly.
Let's see here. Just looking at the comments, trying to. Marcy said something about the planet alignment and Aquarius. I know Aquarius, Jesus spoke about the age of Aquarius, following the man holding the water pail into the house. And of course, the constellations are known as houses. And we're at the end of this time. I don't know how we managed to get born and be living at this amazing period of time, but at least we get witnessed. For sure, we're going to be witnessing the big show.
For such a day as this, we were born. We were selected for this time.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
It's pretty awesome and heavy all at the same time.
Yep, it's definitely heavy. We were brought into this world and taught to fear. But if we learn what our true authority is, and we're going to be doing some videos talking about true authority, and I'm going to tell you guys some stories of me learning about authority and how it's been shown to me. Matter of fact, I'll show you something real quick. Let me pull myself up real quick here. Hopefully I don't scare too many people. If I can figure out how to do it. There we go. Let me show you something I got recently. It's about taking symbolic steps and stepping into your authority. What this is a true rod of iron. You say, well, no, Daniel, that's a stick. Well, it's made out of ironwood. It's the strongest wood known to man. It's the strongest wood on the planet. And it's made out of ironwood. It's a staff. It's a symbol of authority. And it's my obedient symbol of authority that I carry. Or I'm getting used to carrying because I haven't had it that long yet. But like I said, we were born into thinking, we're supposed to be fearful and all these kind of things. And we've been taught that our whole life. I can figure out how to make myself stop being solo layout. What happened? Don't know why I can't change it back. That is a good question. Where did everybody go? Where is everybody? Dan's gone. Shannon's gone. Holy smokes. I don't know what happened, guys. Everybody disappeared. Shannon just literally disappeared. She's not even in her chair. And Dan's gone completely. That ain't never happened before. I mean, Shannon's video is kind of still there, but she's not there. That's her chair. And Dan is gone completely. What in the world is going on here? Holy smokes. How did that happen? I mean, I could see Shannon. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe Shannon's coming back. I see something going on down there, but where's Dan at? What happened?
Sorry, I had an emergency.
Oh.
Stuff going on in the backyard.
All that was left was your angel chair. And Dan's gone completely. I don't know where he went. He got cut out completely.
Well, I know he's been having issues.
Yeah. That kind of about freaked me out. Don't do that to me.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
I know what you mean by emergencies, but kind of freaked me out there a little bit.
Well, you were like right in the middle of talking, so I couldn't say anything. It was like,
oh no. Showing my ironwood staff that I got, just talking about, we're going to be talking about authority here real soon. Guys, let's see here. We kind of opened a lot of cans here with what's going on with them changing everything on the Eclipse website, moving around the flares, putting flares on things, taking flares off of other ones. I've shown you and proved to you basically that all these biblical cities are right in the line of the totality of the eclipse, the darkness of the eclipse. I've done many videos showing you all the symbolism that's going on out there. I was the one that told you that the Great Reset was coming. Back around 2015, I was making videos saying there's a reset coming. I can see it. And yeah. So I'm thinking I'm just kind of out of thoughts for the moment. And I think I kind of want to call that a show for today or a service for today. And I sure appreciate all y'all guys being here. There's a lot of people watching even still right now. But I've got to put some time into thinking where to go. What does all this mean and where to go next? Because there's definitely, it's obvious that there's something serious going on that we need to be paying attention to. And I'm sure we'll get Dan back at some point, but I think we're going to, if it's okay with you, Shannon, I think we'll go ahead and get on out of here for today. My voice is getting worse and worse again.
Sure. I just want to tell everyone to make sure you keep up your prayers. One of the things that I was reminded, there was a a man who came from Romania who came out here to America in the 80s, who had a message from God, and he went through a lot of, miraculous things. God saved his life from the electric chair a couple of times when being tortured in Russia. That it's a long story. Dmitry Duduman, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I've seen that about him. That's amazing.
right. And what he mentioned, there had been a lot of questions about those who were in God and a believer and things along those lines, how we would be protected in the times to come of America's downfall. And he reminded everyone of, I believe it's in the book of Daniel, when the three gentlemen were in the furnace and God protected them from the fire. Just know, you keep up your prayer life, you keep your walk with God, you keep up your faith, and we will be saved from that fire.
And you will find the authority that you're truly made in the image of God of. When it says we were made in the image of God, it didn't just mean looks. It meant everything.
Right.
It means that we have authority over everything that exists in this world. When we believe in our Father and believe in his Son that was sent here to save us, and we have faith and know that we are in the image of God. This is why me and Shannon have spent so much time helping y'all guys understand that you're truly in the image of God, and that you literally have the Ark of the Covenant and a cross right in your forehead that is there. Undeniably there, the ethoid bone. And the sphenoid bone right behind it is the butterfly. And I'm still learning myself every day. I'm still trying to step into my authority every day, but we have to take steps. And one of those steps is definitely prayer. Whether you pray out loud, you pray, God can hear your thoughts. It ain't like you have to put on some show. It's just a matter of talking like you're speaking to your Father that's sitting next to you on the couch. And you spend time communicating, and then he will has his ways. He will choose to communicate back with you. And there are many mysterious ways he does that. I've seen them in my life. Sometimes it's audible voice I hear. Sometimes it's words popping into my head. Sometimes it's supernatural events happening around me that you have to pay attention to. But the more you pray, the more power you're going to find yourself with, and not be afraid in the days of the darkness that are coming. So please take some time and realize that prayer is not just important, it's where your power lies. Because prayer demonstrates faith. Ye of little faith. Well, don't be ye of little faith. Prayer is a clear demonstration that you believe and know and understand that you have a Father that created everything and that is in ultimate control of this world. And that we are the pupils here in the eye of God that are being sharpened against the stone, you might say. Yes, we're being grown up with the chaff, but the harvest is near. The grapes are looking pretty ripe. And so I would suggest, like I'm trying to do myself, trying to figure out ways and every day to try to walk a better path. With that being said, guys, if you would please consider sharing this, and also remember that this show, y'all guys are part of it in many, many ways. One way is you can come here on the website to TheSupernatural.Show, and you can tell your story. Maybe a supernatural event that happened in your life. And worst case, we'll read it live on the show sometime. Or best case, you can come on and tell it yourself and be a guest here. Be here with me and Shannon, or me and Shannon and Dan, and tell your story. Or you can even have your own show on the platform and tell your story yourself. I've already done all the work that y'all guys paid for in building the site. I'm on your payroll. So take advantage of what you have paid me to build and what you have allowed me to do for you. Spend some time on the website and look around at all those things. The more of you that go there, the more encouragement it gives me to build more and do more on the website. So please consider going there and doing that. You can even become a member of the website. There's a free membership, level 1. There's another membership that's $10 a month, a level 2. And then there's a level 3, which gives you access to extra content, like extra video content and conversations that are typically behind the scenes. That's level 3. That's $35 a month. And what it is it's not a charge. It's a donation. It's an offering, a tithing. It's support because you believe or feel like that we're doing a good job and should be supported for the service that we're providing. So with that being said, guys, I love you. And I'm going to give Shannon the last word.
Well, don't forget to watch out for the next time we come out with another supernatural show to find out what in the supernatural is going on. And again, as Daniel said, we love you guys. God loves you. And you just keep up your faith and know that God has you no matter what trials and tribulations we go through and whatever's going to happen. And on April 8th, just keep your eyes to the Lord.
Yeah, just stand strong because this world can only kill you once. You know, we were told to be afraid of death. Death may be a glorious thing. What if we're in hell now or Hades now or some similar type place where we're being chastised and trialed and going through trials? Does it not feel kind of that way? Maybe death, if we do the right thing, make a few good choices, realize a few things, maybe death is a glorious thing. Yes. So with that being said, I love you. Our Father in heaven loves you. And please subscribe. Share this. Get the blood off your hands. And we'll see you next time here on the Supernatural Show. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.